What is up, everybody? Yeah, that's right. 3 episodes.
In 1 week.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's
back
unbelievable.
to back to back. We call it a three-peat in Comedy Film Nerds land.
No, or a trilogy.
Trilogy, all right. Well, Lord of the Rings guys got to call it a trilogy. Yeah, we'll call it a trilogy. This is the Dark Knight Rises of Film Nerd episode this
this
week.
is the one that's going to get nominated for the award out of the 3 this week.
And this is the one where one of us is going to die.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, at the end of this episode, someone's going to die. It's going to be great. Deadpool. I want to thank everybody who came out to the Irvine Improv last night. It was an awesome show. It was the Comic Sans Safari. Murray Valeriano put it together. It was me and Monty Franklin from Australia, Joe Pipp, and
So no, Monty Hall couldn't make it?
Monty Hall couldn't make it. No, he was actually surfing. Monty Hall was actually he was in Tahiti getting on Tihapu. This is the most amazing wave ever. So yeah, it was really cool. And Quicksilver's it was like almost sold out. It was great on a Wednesday night.
Very cool.
It was really cool. And the Quicksilver brought all this swag. We did like raffles and stuff throughout the show, and all of us comics were like, oh, they'll bring like a couple stickers and a T-shirt. They brought like a watch and backpacks. It was like a lot of shit they gave out.
Oh, cool.
So it did
Any
well.
surfboards?
No, let's not get crazy. Well, those we would not be raffling those.
Yeah.
The comedians would all have taken those. But that's a cool thing. So we're going to be doing more of those shows. It's Murray is from Road Stories is putting that all together. So that was
cool. Well, we do want to say also this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own personal website or online portfolio.
Like, let's say you wanted to create a website about Monty Hall surfing. You could do that on Squarespace.
You totally could. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Really is the question.
Why hasn't no one made that website
Why
yet?
have Monty Hall's people not put this together?
Why is he not surfing more?
Yeah.
Like, what's his problem?
And it makes no sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense.
And for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and use the offer code CFN.
Yes. 3 words.
No, that's actually letters.
Those are letters.
Yeah.
Well, let's not split hairs.
Right.
Let's not split hairs on what letters and words are. Jesus. Wow. It's going to be that kind of an episode?
Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah, I'm very pedantic. So Squarespace/pedantic, and you still only get 10% off.
Pedantic.com. Someone needs to make that website via Squarespace and use coupon code CFN, which are 3 letters or words, whatever. Like, I don't let society control me.
It's up
Chris.
to you, really. How do you want to play it? I mean, really, you want to call them words? You want to call them letters?
Look, Chris, I'm not going to let the man tell me how to speak grammar correctly.
Yeah, what words, letters, vowels, or consonsonants are.
Fuck
this
you.
is bullshit.
I'm going to just make noises, and
Yeah.
you have to understand me.
Why don't we do this whole episode in a click language? Squarespace.
The gods must be crazy 3.
But just remember with Squarespace, it is easy. It has 24/7 support. They use words by putting letters together when they talk to you. And they have extremely fast email support through the day and night. And, Squarespace, they're a big supporter of podcasts. Huge. And, of course, the LA Podcast Festival. So we're happy to have them on board.
And I believe they've supported our guest's show.
They have indeed.
Him to the Comedy Film Nerds Garage, ladies and gentlemen.
DB.
I am DB.
Yeah. Doug Benson, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys, it's great to be in the garage. Nice to hear the neighborhood is, keeping the lawnmowers going or leaf blowers or whatever it is they're doing out there
And they're building a giant mansion
to keep the
behind.
valley pretty.
Yeah.
And but let's definitely not split hairs, but always split aces and eights.
Oh, little gambling tips for you guys today.
And what did I hear about you guys? You're triple teaming someone this week. What was that? What did you say?
Yeah.
We have 3 episodes this week, which is unusual for us.
And we're going to triple team one of our interns.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you need a third, I know some people
Doug Benson's
that might want to do it.
Third triple teamer.
Oh God.
This is a really special episode.
Yes.
We do this every year, an Oscar movie preview to help you with your pool at work or at a party or wherever.
Have you gotten positive pool feedback from past episodes? Like, I won!
Very positive pool feedback.
And then did those people then give part of the proceeds to you to help fund the motion picture Earbuds, a documentary about podcasting?
What a delightful segue.
They have indeed.
Do we pause for these Jags or what? Lawnmower guys?
Oh, no, I don't think it's
All
coming
right,
through.
we'll power through it.
Yeah. It's, I mean, they're right outside the door, and there's no grass, but it's a little odd.
These mics are good, though. I don't think the people are hearing it. They think we sound insane.
Yeah.
This is part of our language.
Yeah. So
Also, there's helicopters over the.
Those are the Google
There's
helicopters.
sirens.
Yeah. Welcome to the Valley, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the San Fernando Valley.
So we want to mention, obviously, the Kickstarter campaign. We are creeping ever so close to the goal. If you've listened to any podcast in the last couple weeks, you've heard one of us on them.
We have done every podcast.
Yeah, we have. There's articles in USA Today about the Kickstarter, and we still have a little bit of a ways to go, but we really think we can do it. And we got to tell you guys, we really thank you for the support, and we're really getting closer. And the Comedy Film Nerds fans, $25. That's all you have to do, and it will fund.
If every one of you did.
Yeah.
More than 25. Here's my pitch. Mm-hmm. We're going to help them win an Oscar pool. How much do you usually make at those things? Probably $50 at least, right?
Yeah.
So since they're going to win it anyway, they should pre-win. They should send you guys $40.
Yes.
And they keep 10 for their trouble.
There you go. That's 20%.
And they might be at a bigger party, and the pool might be worth more money. But who throws a party and has a pool where there's less than $50?
Yeah,
it's unlikely.
That's an asshole's party.
Yeah,
it's a party for dicks.
So they're going to win big money based on what we tell them to do today. Because also most pools don't do every single category. That's where it gets shitty.
Right.
But they do the top,
the main ones.
the acting and best picture and director and maybe the 2 screenplays. Right. And then they pick something kind of random for a tiebreaker sometimes, like animation or whatever.
But we're going to go into
we'll help them with all of them, but some of the technical ones I don't know where it's going to go this year, because it's very easy for the Academy people when they're marking their ballot to give all the acting and best picture, like kind of give a streak in that zone. Right. But this other movie was great too. So it deserves, I'm afraid Gravity might be shuttled off into just winning every tech thing,
right,
and then not getting Best Picture.
Yeah.
Instead of it getting everything, which I personally think it deserves. But let's see what happens. Get into it, guys.
So we do want to mention, though, this is the last podcast you will hear before the Kickstarter campaign ends on Monday.
Ooh, I thought you said this is the last podcast you will hear, like you knew something. Podcasting is over, starting tomorrow.
The internet, the president of the internet has made a decision.
There's a giant super magnet the size of Texas that's going to float over the earth and wipe out everybody's podcast. No, Monday, February 25th at 11 a.m. Pacific time is when the Kickstarter ends. Get on it. And all you guys...
2014, Wolf.
2014.
Because somebody might listen to this next year.
Yeah.
And then get really confused.
2014.
Or late in this year.
Yes.
And all you guys that have donated, and so many of you have been posting on Twitter and Facebook. That is so awesome.
And you've upped your donations, too. Somebody went from $40 to $1,000.
Whoa.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, anything, if you can get the higher tiers, great. We'd love to have you on the higher tiers. In fact, we... for the $10,000 executive producer tier, we upped the ante, where you not only get 2 free airfares and also a free hotel to the next LA Podcast Festival.
Ooh, that's neat.
You'll get everything.
How about for $10,000? No, it's got to be more. $100,000. We will help you cover up a murder.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a murder tier.
We do have a murder tier. You got to email us that. Got to keep that a little bit off the books.
Yeah.
But we'll handle it. I know guys in Chicago.
The DL murder tier. You're just hearing about it here. The DLM tier.
Oh, in fact, we do have a Doug Benson tier right now. It doesn't involve murder yet. But
we could murder you while you're here in the garage.
We're going to do a summer movie
bonus.
preview that we'll probably do. Last year we did it live at Nerd Melt. We'll probably do that again. And if you donate to that, it's $1,500.
$1,500, and you get to be on the show with us and Doug.
Now you got to come out to LA on your own.
Yeah. There's no travel
or just live here, Sean Sakame.
Yeah.
Or get your brother Daryl to come out.
Yeah.
Or your other brother Daryl.
Yeah.
And
And there's 2 of those. So one will be for the Leonard Maltin game, and one will be for talking to us about the movies.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be a double team situation.
Yes. That's how we do it.
That sounds fun. I love that. We'll all have to, between those 2 guests and the 3 of us, we'll have to agree on a date and get a venue. But I think we could pull it off.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Nerd Metal will have
Maybe even not to promise too much, because you guys said they got to get out here. But if they're somewhere where we could pull it off, maybe we go to them. Like if you're in the Chicago area, I bet you we could find a venue.
I bet you we could find a Chicago.
If you're in New York City, there are venues. Philadelphia's got venues.
Yes, we could figure it out.
Don't fuck with us with your Des Moines bullshit.
Portland.
No, Des Moines has a venue everywhere. I mean, almost everywhere. So if whoever wins, you probably have to fly yourself out to LA. But
we'll see if we can work it out to you.
Anything's possible, guys. All right.
But the main thing is fund it.
Yeah, fund this bitch.
Yeah, fund this movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're never going to hear from me again.
Yeah, Graham's tapping out.
Well, you should start a separate Kickstarter then. The how much
Graham
you could
back
raise
into the
to
world.
never hear from Graham again. You should start a I'll never whistle again Kickstarter.
And that's the video.
If I reach this goal, I'm never going to whistle again. I'm going to have a procedure where I can't whistle anymore.
And Doug asked me when we were on Doug Loves Movies, he goes, hey, how do you prevent Graham from whistling in the garage? I said, well, Graham doesn't whistle on that show. And I forgot to say that I drug his coconut water before every show. So he can't.
I knew there had to be more to it than that.
His lips can't form into the whistle mode.
It numbs my. There's a special thing he gets from a rare beetle in the Amazon that numbs my whistle lips.
Not to jump ahead, but Graham, could you please whistle? Any one of the original song nominees. Because the answer is nobody can.
All right, let's get into it. We want to start from the top, right? And move on.
Or we want to move back?
I'd say start small.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Build up to number uno.
Documentary, short subject.
Know nothing about any of these things.
Yeah, why don't we start at visual?
You saw them all?
No.
They show them, they'll show them in batches in theaters in random places.
they're hard to find.
In years past. I haven't had a chance to do it this year. So I always recommend doing, going to do that if it is in your city. Here's what I'll say. I think we're going to go Karma Has No Walls. I'm going to just, No. Here we go. The lady in number 6, Music Saved My Life. That'll bang it right there.
How come?
Because the Academy members that don't know this, probably haven't seen this, they're going to look at a title and go, the Academy members that just go, oh, Robert Redford on a boat, I'm sure that's amazing, or whatever, like that certain movies just get play, like David O. Russell, done. So they're going to see something, Music Saved My Life, they're going to check that box. I stand alone on that?
Well,
I'm going to go with Karama Has No Walls.
Wow, you guys. No reason to argue this early.
Yeah.
I just,
it's more fun to
Facing Fear, Cave Digger. I mean, all of these titles, they do not say enough. Like, the winner, what usually gives it away is the one that sounds the heaviest. Like if the word genocide is in the title or something. And this doesn't, none of these, the prison one sounds pretty intense.
The Last Days of Jack Hall.
Yeah, who's Jack Hall?
Great question.
Yeah, because that could tell us a lot. Because if we knew who Jack Hall was, then, yeah. Because all these titles are really, it's a tricky one. I wouldn't,
especially when you haven't seen any of the movies.
I wouldn't commit to any. I mean, I think anyone that you would just check would be as good a guess as any other.
You're saying it's a pretty even playing field on documentary short. Could go any way.
It feels like it is. Mm-hmm. Like Facing Fear, that one seems like that might be kind of frivolous. Like it might be about people jumping out of airplanes or something.
Yeah, The Last Days of Jack Hall is a moving cinema verite documentary that breaks through the walls of one of America's oldest maximum security prisons to tell the story. And it was an HBO movie. That's your winner. I'm changing my vote right there. I'm changing my vote.
Yeah.
HBO makes shorts? I mean, I know they make those documentaries that aren't crazy long, but they're still feature films, aren't they?
Well, a short documentary can be like...
How long is this?
Be like 40...
Hour or less, or 45 minutes?
45 minutes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
So it
so
might
it's
have been
like
an
an hour
special.
special.
It's 40 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. And, the Academy loves longer short films, too.
Of course.
All right, done. Prison Terminal.
All right, you guys, we're going to Prison Terminal. I mean, we could have done the research on all four and really, they really figured it out.
Yeah,
but
it's probably...
But that one sounds pretty good.
It's probably 5 40-minute short films.
All right.
And,
Okay, moving
let's
on.
go to live-action short film. Okay, some of these are in another language.
Yeah, so that's a kind of probably a leg up a little bit because they are snooty, the Academy.
Yeah.
And foreign means, better.
Oh, Avant Kid... Oh, that's French, so that'll win. The French one.
Yeah, also, the title translates to just before losing everything.
Yeah, that's it.
So it sounds pretty tragic.
And French.
But also with a little bit of hope because it takes place just before losing
So
everything.
things might have been okay.
Things were going great.
Before losing everything.
I think that's what I'm going with. I'm going Frenchie. I know the Academy likes that.
I'm going to go, do I have to take care of everything? Cause
I love that translation. I love the all three of the ones that are foreign. I love what they're translated to. That wasn't me. Oh, what's that about? the Holocaust?
I didn't do it.
It wasn't me. Do I have to take care of everything?
Yeah, it
That's just
sounds
some-
like you're annoyed.
You're
I
put
think-
upon.
Yeah.
And Graham's favorite, just before losing everything.
All
So,
right, I'm going to do I have to take care of everything?
Oh, all right.
all right,
Still
well,
everything.
I don't know how we're helping the listeners by having different choices, but
Well, we'll
they can weigh what we've said about it and decide for themselves. Because I think just before losing everything sounds pretty good, and Graham's right about it being French. That's a big plus, I think.
Okay, animated short film. Now, I think this is going to go to Get a Horse.
Well, which one's Pixar?
Well, none of them are Pixar technically. I mean, it's all Disney now.
Right.
But Get a Horse.
But which one is, you know what I mean?
Well,
which
Get a
one's
Horse. Here's the thing with Get a Horse. It's a. I'm sure Pixar had a lot to do with it, but it's a Mickey Mouse cartoon. So.
Oh, I don't know. Do they give them the Mickey Mouse cartoons very often?
It's an unbelievably amazing.
Let's call Leonard Maltin and ask him.
It's probably one of the best short cartoons I've ever seen before a movie.
This is the one that's in the...
This is the one right before Frozen.
Right.
And what they did with 3D was...
But you haven't seen any of the other ones.
I have not seen any of
All
the other
right.
ones. So, but
Sounds good.
I'm going to go Get a Horse.
Get a horse.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Work it.
And one of the reasons, too, is it's an amazing cartoon, but it's also kind of not fair because the other ones don't have huge studios behind them.
Right.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be Get a Horse.
Which means that they don't have the money to get screeners in the right hands. That's what that means. So that's
and
exactly
technologically, this short film you could see cost a lot
Right.
of money to make.
Right.
But so you saw Frozen in 3D?
Yes.
So you had the glasses on for Get a Horse?
Yes.
And do you think there's a flat version of Get a Horse when you see Frozen not in 3D, or they just don't show it?
There's the flat version of Get a Horse, but you miss the whole point of it. Like
The whole point?
Yeah, the characters literally...
Well, couldn't a lot of the voters miss the whole point then if they're seeing it?
You could say that about every category.
Wait. The whole point of 12 Years a Slave isn't that it needs to be shown on a giant screen. And there's no 3D. The whips don't come at you.
Yeah, it's like House of Wax.
Yeah. but the Get a Horse is pretty much, it starts like an old black and white Disney cartoon. And then
It sounds really neat.
And the characters come out and then watch the cartoon with you in the audience.
I will tell you this. I saw Get a Horse in 2D.
Oh, okay.
It was still very cool.
All right.
It didn't, and I got it. Did it amaze me as much? No, but I still think because it was cool in 2D and it's got money behind it,
Right.
that they're going to pick it.
Yeah.
Visual effects. Now here's where it gets interesting.
Yes.
Here are the nominations. Gravity, which we could all maybe say, that should or will win. The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, Iron Man 3, Lone Ranger, there's no business being on anything, and Star Trek Into Darkness.
So you think if the effects are great, but that story is absolute shit, that those people should be
I don't
ignored?
think the effects are that good.
But I don't think...
What was a better effects movie?
Any of the other four.
No, I mean this year that didn't get nominated because it edged out for the nomination because there's some amazing shit in there. It's not a good movie.
No.
But it looks pretty real when the fucking train is flying off the bridge and stuff, Johnny Depp's mascara looks pretty real.
That crow.
It looks real.
That alone should win
The
an Oscar.
animatronic crow.
Anyway, I just think it's going to be Gravity just because, it was probably the biggest hit of all of them. It was the, most seen by old people, the least jarring to old people, because he's, the Academy voters, if The Hobbit, if any of these other movies appeared anywhere else but in the technical categories, then that's the one that gets the leg up, I think.
I'd say it's a two.
And that's Gravity. It got nominations in serious categories, so they're just going to go through and.
I'd say it's a two-way race. I think it's Gravity and Hobbit.
Well, yeah, that's my question here. This is why I think it's interesting. Like, I agree with that logic of what you're saying about Gravity because it's got all these across-the-board nominations, but sometimes with visual effects, they will just pick.
That's just to say that was a great movie, like Star Wars gets special effects, but it doesn't win Best Picture, whereas Gravity might win Best Picture. So I see the point you're making, but I don't think The Hobbit was considered to be a great movie that's only going to lose because it's a fantasy.
No, that's right, but
it didn't get nominated for screenplay or anything.
But here's what I think could happen with The Hobbit is it's Peter Jackson, so it's like, the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies always win a lot of these awards, so it should just automatically be in the running.
We'll give it sound editing and sound mixing then.
Right.
That's where I think it has a better chance of swooping in.
Now,
I think with visual effects, Gravity it's a groundbreaking motion picture, whereas Desolation of Smog is more of what Peter Jackson's been doing for his last 10 movies.
I agree with that. I mean, Gravity, when you look at the effects, they're groundbreaking, but when you look at the effects on The Hobbit, they're amazing. I mean, that dragon looked fantastic, but at the same time, it's the way visual effects have been going for the last, like you said.
I love the effects in Iron Man 3 because to me that movie is absolutely seamless. Like you never feel like you're watching effects.
Right.
Right, and that's really good too. So I would give it to Gravity as well.
I would give it to Gravity as well.
Give it
Gravity. And I'm marking on my chart who picked what.
Oh, okay.
So if any of us split on something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I'm with you on Get a Horse,
take care of everything?
but we're against Chris on that one.
Yeah.
And then we're all Prison Terminal, I guess, because you talked us all into it.
Sound mixing.
But sound mixing, this is where, for fun, I think you could. We might as well do sound editing and sound mixing at the same time, or is it interesting the differences? Because why is All Is Lost great for sound editing but didn't make the cut for sound mixing?
Well, and
tell us the difference, Chris.
This is where it gets very, very subtle.
Yeah, I'll say.
Sound mixing, you have more of the levels and like how all the sounds are actually mixed together. Where you have sound editing is like you're kind of picking where and what to put.
Changing from one sound to another.
Right, exactly. So mixing, I mean, honestly, I think, the sound guys are going to hate me for saying this. They should combine the categories, sound mixing and editing.
Well, then it'd be like 6 guys up there. One would get to make a 15-minute speech and then get cut off, and the other guys would just walk away sad.
But for sound mixing, I would say that, especially when you really listen to these movies, Inside Llewyn Davis, I thought sounded fantastic.
I'm gonna quote Murray Valeriano when his wife Mary Zofries was nominated 2 years ago for True Grit for costume design. He was talking to one of the sound guys on True Grit as well, and he goes, "The loudest movie always wins."
Right.
Like,
yeah, I think Transformers might have won one year.
Yes, mm-hmm.
And that's why, to me,
both or just the mixing.
Both. Usually they'll go.
They'll just check the same movie twice.
Yeah, especially mixing. Editing sometimes can deviate, but that's, to me, sound mixing. This is where I think Hobbit would win.
For mixing?
Yeah.
See, I would give it for editing, and mixing I would give to Llewyn Davis.
But who do you think the Academy's going to pick?
That's the other tricky thing.
Yeah.
When Llewyn Davis is in the mix, it got roundly snubbed in most of the categories.
So you wonder, is this a consolation
This will be a consolation prize, so Llewyn Davis will at least be an Academy Award-winning movie, and also, since it's music, are their heads going to go to, since it's the only musical, then it should win the sound mixing award?
It's different than all the other ones.
I think we've solved it, you guys. I think it's Llewyn Davis or I should say, I guess Chris solved it. It's Llewyn Davis for sound mixing and Hobbit for editing.
I'll go with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And of course, people listening and filling out Oscar ballots, this this is just, you know, it's a good theory, but Gravity could just skate in and get both.
You never know. But this is usually the make or break.
This is like investment advice. You know.
And Gravity's not loud. That's one thing. Like I'd say, I'd give it an award for not being too loud for being that kind of movie. You know?
It's quiet.
Yeah. This is usually these are the make or break categories in your pool. Like usually everyone lines up
for the other.
Well, fortunately, a lot of pools don't mess with these.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're really going to be in luck this year, because I think in the major categories, like they keep running ABC's running TV commercials. It's anybody could win this year. Right. No, I think Best Picture is a real race, but I think that the acting awards are 3 of them are locked up, and 1 of them's just between 2 people. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into it.
Production design. Now, again, production design is one of those. I think the Academy members typically vote for biggest, brightest, craziest, and that's where I think Gatsby's going to get
and
something.
Period piece.
Period piece is, almost always gets something.
And
ooh, interesting.
Because you look at American Hustle, technically a period piece. Gravity, the production design was very precise in the way that movie looked, and then
groundbreaking.
Great Gatsby was one of those Baz Luhrmann ones where every single color and every single thing that you saw on that screen was meticulously designed to catch your eye. And then her was an interesting one where the production design, there was a lot of attention to detail on it, but it was also just
it's
a
obvious.
little bit into the future. So it's like trying to combine well, this is what stuff looks like now, and this is kind of what it might look like a few years ago, and we're going to combine them.
Yeah, people are going to stop wearing belts.
Right. Yeah, and it was that weird, that choice of
I don't wear a belt.
They were too high, the pants, and there were a lot of weird fabrics that people were wearing.
Yeah, but it was really subtle, and it was the most futuristic stuff about it was just that everyone was, talking to their phones or their whatever, and doing it with hands free and everything.
Right.
But I think that's since production designers nominate production design. But then every dumb actor gets to vote. Right. So the choices here, some of them are very subtle, like 12 Years a Slave and Her. You wouldn't on the face of it think that they're amazing looking productions, but they are in terms of their accuracy
and the attention to detail on
it. You just said the word though, subtle. That's
nobody gives a shit about subtle.
Right.
So I think this is where Great Gatsby maybe, but it was so hated. It's such a shitty movie that I think that this is just where they're going to go down the line and give it to Gravity again.
This is where Gravity,
because it's a world that they had to create a world that really exists, but nobody really knows
outside of an IMAX science movie that you would go down to.
And American Hustle could squeak in there just because the production design is so fun and also as far as I know accurate. It seemed accurate.
Now I'm going to go a little bit on the other way where I think it's there was a backlash against the backlash of Great Gatsby, and people saying, well, it wasn't that bad.
So Chris is going double backlash.
Yeah, I'm going double backlash. So I think
it was pretty bad. I saw it twice.
I agree. I can't argue with you, but I think
I saw it I've seen it on planes.
I think it's something that production design may have to be considered. I'm going to go with Great Gatsby for production design.
I mean, did Baz Luhrmann's Australia win in its year, or what did Moulin Rouge win that award?
Was there choreographed servants in Australia?
I just mean, how often does the Academy go for? I mean, it obviously got nominated because other production designers know how batshit crazy the production design was on it. It was hard work,
and there's no question.
And it looks beautiful, but it's such a dumb movie.
You're saying Gravity, Doug?
I think so.
Doug is going Gravity. I got to tell you, I'm going to stick with my original thing. I'm going to go with Gatsby. I think I'm banking on a Mancini double backlash.
Hashtag
all right, you guys.
Double backlash.
So Oscar Pool people, we've succeeded in not helping you.
Yeah.
Because that one could go either way.
All right, original song. So we've got
What's from Frozen?
Oh, yeah.
Let It Go. Let It Go. Yeah. Now,
it's as easy as that.
Now, I really think Let It Go would be a lock, except that U2 is in this category this year.
Ordinary Love.
And it also won the Golden Globe. That's the one that won the Golden Globe.
Right, but you've provided me with the winners of the Golden Globes, which is very, very nice of you. But I think the Golden Globes can't even begin to be a bellwether for this because, 80 people vote on the Golden Globes, and none of them are musicians. At least tons of musicians are going to vote for who wins in this category for the Oscar, and also actors. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking of it. Yeah, I still think it's going to be Frozen, just because it's just too... It's a dumb category. There aren't enough original songs in movies. There aren't enough great ones in movies.
Now, I will say
this song "Happy's" catchy, I think. But
have you heard the song "Let It Go"? It's really good.
It's a good song.
It's a really good song.
I hear all the music in Frozen's good. Yeah. That's why as soon as we got to the category, I'm like, it's Frozen. You know, that's going to win.
It's I would go with "Let It Go" too.
It's going to win best cartoon, best animated, and it's going to win best song. That's going to be like
the only upset.
Their nod to Frozen.
U2 song. That's the only upset that could happen. The other ones are not going to upset up.
I just don't see people getting that serious on that category, and no one knows the song, or like people that have seen Frozen probably have hummed this song.
Sure. And Long Walk to Freedom didn't get it didn't do that well as well as they was hoping in the box office. It's not in a bunch of other categories either,
right? Which
they were probably hoping. And again, like Doug just said about the song, it's not like, oh, everybody knows that U2 Long Walk to Freedom song.
It'd be a neat Oscars if they got Pharrell Williams and Idina Menzel and U2 to perform these songs. The one from Her, I don't know Karen O from anything, or I don't even remember what song that was in the movie.
Song, yeah, I don't remember.
But it was, but all the music was beautiful and moody.
I remember "Let It Go" very clearly.
Yeah,
watching it.
I think that's the one.
We're going across the board on Frozen. Let It Go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Original score. We've got Book Thief.
Wow, that's like, because it's John Williams.
Because as soon as you said
that's skated in there like Book Thief is. All the critics hated that movie.
Gravity. Emmanuel Lubinski, Her, W. Butler, and Owen Pallett or whatever.
However the hell you say it.
Saving Mr.
Saving
Banks.
Mr. Banks. How about that?
Thomas Newman. Is this?
That's really a tough one.
Is this where now because the Academy obviously loves big name cachet? Is this where we go? Well, Saving Mr. Banks got kind of overshadowed by Captain Phillips a little bit because that was the Tom Hanks movie.
The other Tom Hanks
that they're going to give, and Tom Hanks is always in the running for everything. Is this just
Captain Phillips isn't going to win shit? It's going to be completely shut out, I think.
Now, what did you think of the music in Saving Mr. Banks?
It's
I'm trying to remember it. It's kind of Disney-esque, both in the fun sense when they're modern times and the boring sense when they go to Colin Farrell and the nanny that shows up that ends up being nothing like Mary Poppins. She's just a bitch. God, those flashback scenes in that movie just ruined it for me. Like, and the modern scenes also, it's kind of like, well, Disney got his way on everything that she didn't want, like the dancing penguins. Right. Like, so sitting there watching them argue about dancing penguins for a long time, it's like, well, he got the penguins.
Yeah.
I saw the fucking movie. Yeah. But I like the scenes where they're, trying out the songs. Like that's the most fun part, but that's the songs from Mary Poppins.
Right.
So how much cred does that give the score of the movie? Thomas Newman's very, very respected, but John Williams, it could be like a end of career prize because I can't even believe he's still writing scores for movies.
This is why I think it could be John Williams, is because they're going to look at this list, and as we're talking here, none of these scores jump out at us.
No, there's none of them go, oh my God, that was an amazing
score. So that's why they're just going to go, I'll give it to John Williams.
But Book Thief is such a lot of people will not have seen it, won't bother to watch it just for this one category. So I say this is where these people that just go through and check shit off. I say Gravity. This is Gravity, or because the score in Gravity was cool, but like the thing that was most emotional and moving and scary about Gravity was how quiet it was sometimes.
Yes.
So I say that this is going to be the one that they give to Her because it's very acclaimed, that movie. And River Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix. They both been snubbed in different ways. But Joaquin Phoenix not getting nominated for Best Actor, like he made that movie work to me, and the same with Hanks. Those were two huge snubs for Best Actor this year. So that also shows a lack of respect for those two movies, but also the acting category is packed with amazing people.
I'm going to go with Her too, and one of the reasons also is that because like the production design, it was like almost like a subtle futuristic vibe to the music.
It made the whole movie is a fucking tone poem. Like it's all of a piece that the music Spike Jonze picked, soundtracky songs, and the score itself. It was all. I saw that movie twice, and I was kind of more moved by it the second time because I realized, oh my god, this movie's super long and super. Like, not that much happens, but it's still engaging.
Right.
You know?
It's either
because it's more the mood is something that's like draws you in.
You're on board from the beginning or you're not on board from the beginning. And then nothing that happens in that movie is going to change your mind either way.
I don't think so, no. I think, unfortunately, it's one of those movies that the trailer kind of encapsulates it quite beautifully. So, it's like the trailer's like the movie, but without the painful parts.
Right.
So go check out the trailer, guys. All right, so Doug and Chris are saying her. I think I'm going to stick with my Mr. Banks long shot.
I tell you, Thomas Newman is quite respected and always does good work.
Yeah. So we're abandoning the idea of the John Williams career give?
I just think that movie is just such a throwaway. I hope they will hope that he'll do another Spielberg movie.
Right.
they can give it to him on that next one.
All right. Makeup and hairstyling.
Oh, here we go. Graham's going to get mad again.
Bad Grandpa and the Lone Ranger.
I wish I knew more about the history of the makeup category because it's always such a throwaway category to me. And sometimes I don't know how often they pick old age makeup over fantastical makeup because those are pretty much the options.
Yes.
You know? And in the case of old age, I'm lumping that in with making him look AIDSy.
With sick makeup.
Yeah. It's really well done in Dallas Buyers Club, and it's a great movie, and this could be another, let's toss it an award, but I think Leto and McConaughey are both going to win.
I think Bad Grandpa is going to get
and
this.
they're both so good in it that like the makeup was less important than their performances.
Yeah, right. Whereas Bad Grandpa, it was all about the makeup.
That was all about the makeup, but how many Academy people, especially old people, are watching Bad Grandpa and then liking it enough to think it deserves an Academy Award?
Yeah,
that is
the makeup's question. Really good. And Spike Jonze, he is involved in the movie. So it's got the Academy.
And it's one of those few times where you have such an amazing makeup job that's actually not just in the movie, it's made to fool people in the real world. Like, because you have this amazing makeup, it has to fool people thinking he is actually an old guy for the jokes to work in the hidden camera setups.
You know, was Boogie Nights nominated for best makeup for the scene where Mark Wahlberg takes out his dick?
Oh,
because in the case of a Bad Grandpa, if it wins, it'll be the first time an Academy Award is given to somebody for creating really long hanging balls. Yeah.
Which is a victory for all of us.
Yeah. And does that count as makeup, or is that
just Johnny Knoxville?
I didn't notice if they had hair on them, so I don't know if it counts as hair or makeup. This one's obviously not Lone Ranger.
No way.
No. We can tell people that much.
Because here's the thing: like when Transformers gets the things, I think that's partially the Academy going, hey, these movies make a lot of money, so we're going to give them a nod. And Lone Ranger,
right? And also they're obviously very
they are
technically spectacular.
And also they're tired of nominating the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movies because you notice they're not in there at all for this one.
Yeah, well, because also I think makeup and hairstyling, it's going to become an old-fashioned category because a lot of that kind of work is being done through special effects instead of actually standing there and making up the actor. You know, like how much were the actors made up in Avatar? Never.
Right.
I think it was I might have been nominated for Best Makeup. But I'm going Dallas Buyers Club because it's just a serious movie that Academy members like, and the makeup is good, and I just can't see any of them sitting through or liking Bad Grandpa or Lone Ranger.
Should win, but Dallas will win.
That's
I agree.
That's reasonable.
You guys have convinced me. I was thinking maybe there'd be an upset, but no.
No, I mean they often just pick the serious movie that has makeup in it. It's not usually the most fun makeup, you know.
All right, Dallas Buyers Club it is.
It's like when South Park movie got nominated for Blame Canada. There's no way that was going to win.
Yeah,
there was no way. All right, film editing. So we've got American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, and 12 Years a Slave.
Now, I will say, out of all those movies, there's none that stand out more for the editing. There's like none where you go, oh, that was an amazingly edited movie, more than the other.
Yeah, they all pretty much tell the story in the amount of the time they should tell it. with a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
But I think American Hustle should automatically be disqualified for being too long.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That movie definitely deserves some editing.
I would go for me.
Gravity.
I'm going to go Gravity on
is
this
so it's the shortest Academy Award nominated movie since Annie Hall, I bet.
And it's a tightly edited movie, but you never get the impression that it's either too long or too short. You get this is the exact length that this movie should be.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that this is where they give Captain Phillips the bone because Tom Hanks is probably not going to win and it's not going to win Best Picture?
I don't think so.
Tom Hanks is definitely not going to win because he wasn't nominated.
I don't think.
Should he, though, be nominated again?
But
I don't think Captain Phillips is going to win it because I didn't see anything spectacular about the editing in that movie.
It was typical Greengrass, like that guy makes good action movies that kind of stick to the truth of the situation. I mean, that's, if anything, that might be kind of part of the problem with Captain Phillips is because if they told the story pretty accurately, it takes some turns that just aren't theatrically interesting.
Right.
And but I'd say Gravity. Just because it really
I'm going with
is
Gravity too.
like.
Yep.
All right, guys. Gravity.
Especially if they pull a last minute, American Hustle or 12 Years a Slave pulling ahead of Gravity for Best Picture.
Right.
I think then Gravity's really going to clean up in the tech categories.
All right. Costume design: American Hustle, The Grandmaster, The Great Gatsby, The Invisible Woman, and 12 Years a Slave.
First of all, The Invisible Woman, you didn't even have to put an outfit on her. And then, I mean, that's just the period piece nod that always goes in costume design and tends to win. Like Atonement and shit like that wins Best Costume. 12 Years a Slave, I think it's brilliantly accurate and probably amazing costumes, but it just doesn't. As a person who knows nothing about costumes, nothing about it feels special
it's big period pieces, which is why this is, I think, my personal favorite is The Grandmaster. I would love to see The Grandmaster win.
That's never going to win.
But that's the thing. It's going to go to something. Now, I think probably American Hustle, just because it's the kind of thing. It's the aspect of the movie people talk about.
I think that American Hustle will win too, but for a different reason. I think because production design is going to go to Great Gatsby. They don't want to give it 2 awards. So I think Great Gatsby is going to lose in that, although it's a strong in that category, and I think American Hustle is going to win too.
All right. I'll go Hustle.
But I would, I certainly wouldn't be disappointed if Grandmaster won for costume
design.
You know
what? If the long shot is going to be Invisible Woman. If that's going to be the movie that sneaks in. It won't be Grandmaster. They'll just go, period piece. The Academy loves fucking old school gowns and shit like that. They see gowns and wigs.
But Invisible Woman it came out so late in the year and just didn't get any attention whatsoever. I mean, I haven't seen it. Don't plan on seeing it.
And they didn't have. I don't think they had the money to push it. So
I mean, I'll watch it on a plane.
Or a boat.
Or both. What do you say?
Cinematography.
Or a stagecoach.
Something. Grandmaster for cinematography. Gravity. Inside Llewyn Davis. Nebraska, Prisoners.
No, I think this is
that is some cinematographers making the choices. Yeah. Those are some interesting. I mean, those movies were all really well shot and idiosyncratic. And Prisoners, though, is particularly interesting to me because how that movie got ignored for everything else. I think it's just so relentlessly grim and also too long. That just sort of hurt it.
It's weird because it has amazing performances in it.
It does, but like Hugh Jackman is just angry the entire time, and he has some good crying scenes, but it's still like I could see why he got overlooked.
Right.
And then the movie as a whole, like for Best Picture and screenplay and all that stuff, I think it was really well done, but it really dragged out like
and bummer endings. Like it's like that movie The Pledge, that Jack Nicholson movie The Pledge, which was an amazing film, but bummer endings are like forget it.
Yeah.
You need Forrest Gump.
Yeah, you do.
So I think
need to gump it.
This is a strong category, but I think Gravity by far and away, just because of
it's so amazing. Yeah, I think if something's going to skate in, that could be the Nebraska nod. Like that could be the one thing Nebraska wins. But I think Gravity's a smarter play.
Gravity, indeed. All on board for that. Original screenplay, we've got American Hustle, Blue Jasmine, Dallas Buyers Club, Her, Nebraska.
This is really...
I don't think American Hustle is going to win here. Although, I don't know, it might sneak in. Blue Jasmine.
I think this is where Nebraska gets it. I think this is where Nebraska picks up its nod. Like, I think this is...
It's interesting because, like, part of what the dialogue in Nebraska is so real and spare. Like, it's not like, there's some parts that are somewhat poetic, but, like, I don't know. Like,
don't you think that's
what do you think? What do you think about that Woody Allen is super in the press right now? Like, because it's
I think
all
that's
of everyone,
choices.
right?
I think that's going to hurt his
because that's where I just jumped to Blue Jasmine almost just because.
It's a great screenplay.
It's such a well written movie. Like, I've never seen a movie before that wasn't funny at all, but felt like a comedy, right, but was also super engaging the entire time. I was always engaged, but I never really laughed.
It was almost like a more comedic Streetcar Named Desire.
Oh, you know what's going to happen here.
Hustle.
No. Dallas Buyers Club.
Really?
Yeah. That's a good script.
It's not that great.
It's a good script. I think it's a good script. I think it's very deserving. I think Academy is either going to go, for the Academy voters, either going to go Nebraska
well, wait, let me ask
or
you
American Hustle because it had funny moments.
Let me ask you guys another question. Did everyone vote before Woody Allen got all into the press for this last round?
I think the voting's not done yet. The awards aren't until March 2nd,
okay.
So still got a couple weeks.
All right, then.
I mean, it might be done about now, but it's just been relentless. It almost seems like publicists are trying to keep him from winning an Oscar. But on the other hand, he's always blown off the Oscars. So, stopping him from winning is not really anything anybody should bother to do.
Either way. He really doesn't.
Well, I mean, he probably, we don't know how he feels either way, but we know he pretends, or at least he wants us to think that he doesn't care.
Yeah, he certainly never shows up for any of these.
He showed up that one year after 9/11 and made a weird speech with weird jokes in it.
Yeah.
Just to be,
I forgot about
just because he loves New York so much. I appreciated it at the time, but man, I don't know. Well, I can't make heads or tails of all the allegations against him.
It's
and
crazy.
It's just two sides just saying this happened. No, it didn't.
Either way, it's heartbreaking.
And it's all crazy enough that both sides' stories have some credibility.
Right.
You never know what's going on.
So it's not stopping. Not to jump ahead, but it's not stopping Cate Blanchett from winning. I don't think. But for screenplay, that probably
is going to hurt. You know what? I'm going to go Nebraska.
I hate having to choose. Let me just say this.
This one's a hard one. I am going to go. I'm going to go long shot on this one. I'm going to go Her because it's a really odd, unique, and different screenplay from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just artsy enough that it might get the screenwriter nod.
The second time I saw it with my mom, and when Joaquin Phoenix is playing that video game with the funny little guy running around, and the little guy's always like, "Fuck you, suck my cock." Yeah. I still laughed, and my mom just sat there like she didn't think it was funny at all, and I was still giggling over it. But I think mostly where they lost her is she doesn't even understand the world of video games or little animated characters, and and she also doesn't just automatically think swearing is funny like I do. But it still cracked me up.
Cocksucker.
Yeah.
Follow me, cocksucker.
Yeah.
So you're going.
He's really cute too.
It's a clue. It's a clue.
What's your pick, Doug?
Okay. So shit. After all is said and done, but I just think that Dallas Buyers Club wins on the here we go. It wins on the took forever to get made, and it's an important story. That's why it wins, and a great acceptance speech about. Moving forward, and we still hasn't been cured.
Wow, you know what? I can't argue with that. I'm still going to stick with Her, but I see that point.
This category, 3-way split: Doug Benson, Dallas Buyers Club, Her, Mancini. Nebraska goes to the Elwood.
We are gonna.
This is gonna be tough.
We're gonna send each other some "I told you so" texts.
Yes.
Yeah. Adapted screenplay: Before Midnight, Captain Phillips, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, Wolf of Wall Street.
12 Years a Slave.
Yes.
I think adapted.
Yes.
Can I just sidebar with some shit that blew my mind yesterday?
Sure.
This is about food.
Tommy Chong was on Getting Doug with High.
Uh-huh.
His cellmate, when he was in prison for 9 months, Jordan Belfort.
No
way.
Fucking
How crazy is that? And as Tommy Chong describes it, Belfort just spent all day playing tennis. That was the prison they were in let him play tennis all day. And he wrote a book that came out and made him some money and some notoriety and got made into a Martin Scorsese movie, and Leonardo DiCaprio played him. That man has not been punished yet.
At all.
No.
It's fucked up.
That motherfucker needs to be on the goddamn Kickstarter. That cocksucker.
And Tommy liked him. Tommy's the one that taught him how to write a book. Like Tommy was like, why aren't you writing why aren't you writing while you're in here? Because Tommy's writing every day. He's like, why aren't you wasting your time not writing something while you're in prison? And then Jordan wrote something and gave it to Tommy, and Tommy gave him like notes on it and told him this isn't honest enough. You got to be more honest. And then, then he wrote a book that, tells all that crazy shit.
Wow. But now we were saying too, one of the other guests pointed out that they can't keep the money from that. It has to go to the victims from any proceeds from selling your story. Isn't there? There's like
maybe, but he can make proceeds from just being him, though, right?
Yeah,
ancillary profits.
That little 7-figure stipend he gets from his fucking speaking tour.
Yeah,
I think
you think the movie or book helps promote that?
He'll do all right, but also, I mean, seriously, I want Leonardo DiCaprio to play me in a movie. All right, so sorry about that sidebar, fellas. All right, before midnight, it was the richest of the films, and but the nomination is the award. I think before midnight, it's just two people just sitting around having a free flowing conversation, and sometimes they're angry. Captain Phillips, great job of telling that story, but I don't see that seems more like a directorial achievement. Philomena, I really liked a lot. Like, I was happy to see it get the Best Picture nod, and what's her name, Dench. But, maybe. Might be fun to see Steve Coogan get up there and say something. That guy always knocks it out of the park when it comes to public speaking.
Are you calling it, Philomena?
I don't know, man, because 12 Years a Slave, John Ridley's a cool guy, used to be a stand-up comic, and, obviously this was probably not another easy story to get to the screen. You had to find Brad Pitt and get him to participate.
And I think, too, the adaptation of this actual story that
couldn't have been easy.
Yeah. And it also, he did a good job of showing that book, the realities of slavery that some of us weren't aware of. We just assume, all black people were slaves. No, this guy, wealthy dude. You had the white abolitionists. Like, it wasn't as clear cut as maybe some of us think. And I think that was getting all of those points in the book and the and doing the historical research, which I think makes. Again,
did you know that Solomon Northrop's story was a TV movie? Yeah, they already did it once, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like in
what
the
year?
70s, maybe, 60s, 70s, something like that. So I wish there was a way to track it down, because it'd be kind of just interesting to see how television tackled that same story, because obviously in the movie they go crazy with the whippings and the nudity and stuff.
But I think, too, your prediction about why Dallas Buyers Club, the speech about it's important, I think they're going to do that with
Yeah, and that's what I was just saying with John Ridley, is like he's a good guy. Like he hasn't written a ton of movies, but I think he was the writer on Three Kings, which was great. Yeah. So anyway, and Wolf of Wall Street, that could certainly squeak in there, because it's written by the guy from that worked on Mad Men.
Oh, right.
And Weiner. So, and it's Scorsese, and that might be their only award. It's a funny ass movie. I mean, the screenplay's pretty funny. So I just talked myself into 12 Years a Slave.
Chris?
Oh yeah, 12 Years a Slave. I think this one's a no-brainer.
Across the board.
Yeah.
All right. Foreign language film. We've got The Broken Circle Breakdown from Belgium, The Great Beauty, Italy, The Hunt, Denmark, The Missing Picture, Cambodia, and Omar, Palestinian territory.
I have not seen any of these foreign languages. Well,
I can tell you The Broken Circle Breakdown is about a flat waffle.
Is this a Chong sidebar?
Does the chocolate get mentioned at all?
The Great Booty is about this Italian woman with a great ass.
The Great Booty.
The Hunt from Denmark is about it's kind of like how people there feel about Helen Hunt. They call her the Hunt.
The Hunt.
She's huge over there. It's really weird. It's a really weird documentary about how famous Helen Hunt is in Denmark.
That's weird.
And The Missing Picture from Cambodia. That's got to be the winner, right? But also Omar from the Palestinian territory. You don't think?
Did you read where it was from?
Yeah. Oh, I guess you're saying all Academy's Jews. Got nominated. But I think Cambodia one sounds the most intense for sure.
Let's pull up Missing Picture. What's that one about?
It's weird. The movie that sort of got the most acclaim foreign film this year, the most attention, was Blue is the Warmest Color, and it got snubbed in the
It did, yeah.
I
saw that on a lot of lists.
All right, this is why Missing Picture is going to win. They use clay figures, archival footage, and narration to recreate the atrocities of Cambodia's Khmer Rouge committed between 75 and 79.
Boom, done deal.
All right.
Innovative way to talk about that.
But Great Beauty's another way to go, because that's
Omar, too.
Great Beauty's actually got like a theatrical release and stuff, like, so maybe more voters will see it.
It's just called Omar.
Yeah.
So these actors.
Well, if it already got snubbed by IMDb.
No, he just had to get past Omar Gooding Jr.
A young Palestinian freedom
Omar
fighter comes
Epps.
to work as an informant after he's tricked into an admission of guilt by association in the wake of an Israeli soldier's killing.
I think I've heard it's good, but
Sure it is.
I think Missing Picture is still going to win.
okay.
I know. What's Great Beauty about, you said?
Great Beauty. That's from Italy.
Yeah. And
It's kind of it seems like a kind of a standard issue foreign film. I saw the trailer, and it seems quite opulent and about royalty, and
Yeah.
some beautiful girl comes to town, and
Jip Gambardella has seduced his way through the lavish nightlife of Rome for decades, but after his 65th birthday and a shock from the past, Jep looks past the nightclubs and parties to find a timeless landscape of absurd, exquisite beauty.
okay, Missing Picture.
For sure.
oh man, I've only seen one of the documentaries.
The Act of Killing, Cute.
Which one did you see?
Cutie and the Boxer.
Cutie and the Boxer, Dirty Wars, The Square 20 Feet from Stardom. What's Cutie and the Boxer?
Cutie and the Boxer is about this old Asian couple who like moved to New York to be artists, and it's about now they're older, and it's just about all the struggles and how hard it was, and how he sort of became like a celebrity in the art world because he'd wear boxing gloves and put paint on them and punch the canvas. But she's also a very good artist in her own right. And it's just sort of how they never, ever really made any money or have any kind of acclaim, even though they're both really good at what they do. And their relationship. My favorite part is there's a scene where he's talking about how much he hates Indiana Jones 4. Talking about how stupid it is. But
I think the
Act of Killing is, I haven't seen it yet because I'm just terrified of it.
Yeah, because it sounds just so disturbing.
It's so disturbing, but it just sounds,
Like,
it's just the most revolutionary documentary of this or maybe any other year if they do exactly what they say they do, and I'm sure they do.
Well, here's it's a documentary which challenges former Indonesian death squad leaders to reenact their mass killings in whichever cinematic genre they wish.
Yeah, and they love sharing the stories of how they murdered lots of people.
and that's one of those movies that when you hear it, you're like, well, do I want those images in my head? Do I want to see this movie?
It's one of those things where it's like, it's and in
It's a comment on movies as well because because these guys they glamorize
Them
in
killing
their
people.
heads they think that it's almost that it is cinematic, so they're thrilled to get to act it out that way.
and it's like not to give anyone any spoilers, but the ending is sort of like everything that's great about documentaries and how these revelations can happen while you're shooting that doesn't necessarily happen in a narrative.
Like capturing the Friedmans or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I think that's going to win.
That's why I think documentaries are consistently more satisfying these days than narrative features, even at like film festivals or whatever. And even now on Netflix, documentaries are really getting more of a fair shake, and like people are seeing, a lot of them are seeing
Sometimes
these.
you can
like
catch
the
these
Act
a
of
little
Killing
more,
is doing, is making some money. It's
And
doing
also
well.
part of it is the technology in that, before this digital age, the production value on shooting something on 16 millimeter was like,
It was expensive to shoot a documentary.
expensive.
Yeah.
But I think if a documentary gets completed and released, and somebody's putting enough money into it that it's getting out there into the world, that it's gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like if you're following a subject around and nothing ever happens, You know, like if you don't have that story, if the arc doesn't, because every documentary has these great arcs to them.
Yes.
And it's all people that just, let's start shooting these people and see what happens.
Well, and all that happens in the editing, because what they're doing is they're applying the narrative techniques to the documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, a great example of that was King of Kong. Mm-hmm. That was an amazing documentary that had all the same narrative hooks in it of a fiction film.
Yeah. But then, Graham and I went out on the road and made a documentary where we thought, if something crazy happens, we're going to get it. And it was a really good look at what our lives are like on the road and the venues and especially some of the people we have to deal with. But ultimately, if there's anybody going to have a complaint about it, is that it doesn't have any kind of story. It's just like the tour begins, the tour ends. Yeah, and you can get away with that if it's a band because at least the people get to hear all their hits along the way. Right. So the only thing that we had to resort to was just using as much funny stuff as we could, and just try to make it so that people can have some laughs.
What you're saying, Doug, is that people should contribute to Earbuds, the podcasting documentary.
Yes, because once you guys start filming, something's going to happen.
I already know some of these some of the letters I've been getting from fans. Like I'm getting emails. A guy in Antarctica said podcasting saved his life. He was working and doing hazmat work in Antarctica, and he's like, the summer is like 4 months of darkness, and he had just gone through like a breakup, and was like, I was listening to documentary or to podcasts, and that literally kept me from like killing myself and going crazy. And I think if we make this movie, we're going to have the stories I'm hearing.
People, you go to Antarctica and you reenact him killing himself.
Yeah. With claymation.
Yes.
But I mean, no, like I keep getting all these emails about it since we've been doing all these interviews for Kickstarter. And
I just forwarded you a couple more. It's amazing.
I think if this thing funds, we're going to get some amazing
When
stories.
This thing funds, it's going to be fantastic.
When this thing funds, I'm sorry.
So.
And we'll have funds.
So the Kickstarter takes the animated feature.
We all say active killing for documentary.
Yes.
Animated feature: The Croods, Despicable Me 2, Ernest and Celestine, Frozen, The Wind Rises.
Frozen, next category.
No, this is a two.
Are you a Mayako Bakugutsu fan?
Now, the reason is a two-way race. Now,
that was a Italian accent that Doug just did.
The Wind Rises has a very strong chance. First of all, it's being released by Disney. Disney's going to win either way. But it is farewell movie, and
how do you pronounce it though?
Miyazaki.
Miyazaki. How's the first name?
John
Hirohito. Hirohito. Something.
What is the first name?
Miyazaki.
Real quick. Yeah,
Hirutu. Something like that. Hirutu Miyazaki.
I'm going to wait to bring it up because I want to just keep hearing you guys say this name incorrectly. Hayao Miyazaki.
Maybe it's
Hayao
Miyazaki.
So whatever.
And I really think that
it's his last movie. I saw the movie.
Oh, you've seen it already? Oh, I'm seeing it tomorrow.
#KGL does the voice in it.
I can't wait to see this movie.
It wasn't my. All of that stuff doesn't do it for me. The kind of fantastical, whimsical anime. I just have never keyed into it. If I'm watching anime, it's got to be like people killing each other. Yeah. But having said that, it is beautiful, and it is his final movie, but I just think that most actors in the Academy aren't sitting around worried about whether or not he's going to make another movie, and they'll just check Frozen because it's
I'm going to go upset. I'm going to go Wind Rises.
Voting with his heart.
It'll be interesting if that happens.
And I think because it's his last movie.
ABC will be mad if that happens.
All right. Best Supporting Actress: Sally Hawkins in Blue Jasmine, Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle, Lupita Nyong in 12 Years a Slave, Julia Roberts in August Osage County, June Squibb in Nebraska.
This is the one. This is of the remaining categories. This is the only one that I have waffle issues.
Because do you go Lupita Nyong in 12 Years a Slave, or do they go June Squibb in Nebraska? That's what I think it's between. But but
Sally Hawkins she's won some prizes.
Jennifer Lawrence, they love
Jennifer Lawrence has won it a couple times, like at the BAFTAs, the British Academy, they gave it to Jennifer Lawrence. But Lupita Nyong'o as she won the Screen Actors Guild Award, which just in the acting categories, that's a good sign
Right.
that
Jennifer Lawrence won in Golden Globes, so it's like, I don't know.
I thought Jennifer Lawrence was better in the second Hunger Games movie. Like, I thought she was good in American Hustle, but I also thought she was like rose to the occasion, and that if they wanted the movie to work as a complete piece and not just work with their friends again, they should have gotten a different actress.
Right.
And now she's winning awards for it. So what do I know?
It's no Winter's Bone
I don't know.
performance.
No,
She's just great. She's just great.
Yeah.
And like, who doesn't want to see her get up and make a speech? No, I want to see that for the rest of my life.
Right.
But for this one,
I think it's going to be between
not
Jennifer
right.
Lawrence and Sally Hawkins. I think it's going to be between those two.
yeah. But the Lupita, that's where young,
she might
beautiful
win, too.
actresses squeak in on
that could
supporting
be true.
actress all the time.
Yeah.
But Woody Allen, that's the pocket for if an actress is a supporting role in a Woody Allen movie, they win.
I think
Yeah.
Lupita, because here's the thing with Lupita, this is Hollywood wants to say we discovered her. She is. You've never heard of her prior to this movie, and now we're going to give her the award, and she's on the center stage. And guess what? She's going to be the new Gabby Sidibe and be in a bunch of movies now. And
It's a meatier role than what Jennifer Lawrence is doing. Jennifer Lawrence is practically the comedic relief in American Hustle. Which is another thing people like. They gave it to Mary Steenburgen for that movie she was in a million years ago. Anyway, this is the toughest one for me, so I
thought Sally
I
Hawkins,
recuse
too.
myself.
She went through a great transformation for that character. You really believed that
they're
character.
all good. I mean,
Yeah, and she's British.
yeah.
And she's playing an American so effectively. That shit's out of hand these days. There's so many British actors faking it as Americans.
It's true.
Well, when it goes the other way, it always looks false. Like I was watching Olivia
Walking
Wilde
Dead.
in something. What about Walking
Walking
Dead?
Dead.
They're
the
all
lead actor is British.
but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
because
yeah.
We've never heard that.
Carl,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was.
where's Carl?
I thought that was Christian Bale's Batman. Where's Rachel?
This isn't a democracy.
Now I know what that feels like.
Don't go there. Oh, I'm sorry. That was outtakes.
Okay, so
Talk to the hand.
Julia Roberts, that's some
outta
nonsense.
here.
That's
Get
some nonsense.
That's just
Stupid.
filling out the
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to pick them.
No, but there were other supporting actresses that were better than Julia Roberts. For
sure.
Amy Adams in Her would be better.
Yeah.
All right.
Lupita. I go Lupita.
No, I'm going to go Lupita too.
Oh,
Ooh, diggity.
interesting. Well, we're trying to help people win their ballots.
And Graham.
So
kinda
my
convinced
advice
me.
is a husband and wife should enter together, and this is where they should part ways. Like, this is the one where one of them should pick either Lawrence
Just
or
sort of
Hawkins.
hedge your bets.
It's either going to be Lawrence or Hawkins or Lupita, I think.
Ooh, buddy.
It's they're all fighting it out. I'll go Lupita with you guys.
Oh,
Let's
across
just,
the board,
All
Lupita.
right.
A
Let's
last
just-
minute across the
Let's
board.
just commit to it. Part of the fun of picking Lupita is that if Jennifer Lawrence wins, we still get a fun speech.
Right.
We'll be sad that we missed the category and that we weren't brilliant
All right.
at guessing these arbitrary bullshit awards.
This whole episode is useless. All right.
You know what I mean? You know how, like, we have friends that know about the Oscars and friends that are just like, fuck
care,
the
yeah.
Oscars.
I don't care.
Yeah, like some people won't listen to this episode for that very reason.
All right, best lead actress, Amy Adams in American Hustle, Kate Blanchett in Blue Jasmine, Sandra Bullock in Gravity, winner, Judi Dench in Philomena, Meryl Streep in August Osage County.
Oh, you didn't say this earlier, but Blanchett has won every award possible.
I know.
She is so incredible, has been missing for years, and hopefully nobody's seen Monuments Men yet.
She hasn't been missing for years.
She was good in-
She's in every Hobbit movie.
She went and had, well, yeah, but other than that, she wasn't in anything because she had a kid and, like, started raising it
Right,
and all that.
She won Golden Globe. She's
I'm going with
She's
Kate Blanchett on
spectacular.
this. Yeah.
Like, it's so, that performance is so, there's
it's
so
over the
much
top.
going on there. It is big, but I thought it's realistically
Sandra
so.
Bullock did great too. I wouldn't be upset if she won, but I really think
Graham,
this
you've
is,
known some high-strung bitches.
You ever accuse them of being over the top?
yeah.
Yeah, I think he has. I think that's why he doesn't like it.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't need to be reminded that people can be like this.
Yeah, I don't want to see her speak because then I got to watch this movie more. That's why I never saw Her. I don't want to fall in love with a robot. I don't need some high-string wing nuts in my life. I like a nice scientist floating in space.
You have to see Her, dude.
I'm not going to see it.
Watch it on a plane or something.
On a boat. I'm sure I'll see it on a plane. It'll be on a plane, and I'll watch it. You know?
Just be meta. Yeah. Watch it on your computer.
Oh, God. All right, so you clowns are going with Blue Jasmine Bullish-Ant.
Yes.
And I'm going with Sandy Bullock.
Blue Shet.
Blue Shet. I'm going with... She's full of... That's such Blue Shet. That category.
In interest of time, Leto, McConaughey, Gravity.
All right. Best Supporting Actor, Barkad, Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper, American Hustle, Fassbender, 12 Years a Slave.
Barkad better run up there and say, I'm the winner now. Just take it away from whoever wins.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, that's just
a question.
He hasn't been killing it with the speeches. Like his speeches aren't great.
Well, he hasn't been in a lot of movies either. This is the first movie he's been in a while.
Yeah, he's a weirdo rock star. Is what he is. Yeah. But he, I just think he's so good, and he's so. Like, he's going out of his way to not, in all these award shows, not be anything like that character, you know? Right. Like, he's got super long hair.
Yeah, he's always in some, like, gold sport coat or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's always acting really, like, he's awesome.
Best lead actor, Christian Bale, Bruce Dern, DeCaps, Chiwetel Ejiofor, McConaughey.
Hey, can I go real quick? Props to Jonah Hill.
Sure.
That guy is fucking tearing it up because... He could have been a Johnny one-note comedy actor.
He could have been Jonah Hill in Wolf of Wall Street.
He made the move, and he also, when he plays in these other types of movies, he plays a character. But I still, whenever I see, I'll watch, if I have 10 minutes to spare and The Sitter is on, I will watch it. I just like that guy. I just think he's just an entertaining presence.
Yeah, and like you say, the thing I was starting, one of these guys, initially I was starting to get annoyed. I'm like, he's going to play the same guy in every fucking movie.
He was great in This Is the End.
Right, I know, and he's done all these things like the baseball one. I'm blanking.
Moneyball.
Moneyball. Yeah, he's great in Moneyball, you know. And The Sitter, I thought he was going to be like, I don't know. Instead, he's sort of like I don't know. It's good to see.
Okay, now I think this is going to go to Matthew McConaughey over Chiwetel Ejiofor because I think 12 Years a Slave is going to win Best Picture. So I think they're going to give Best Actor to Matthew McConaughey.
Man, who are they going to get to open that envelope? Who's going to be not afraid to fuck up Chiwetel Ejiofor? Yeah, like who's going to...
So who do you
McConaughey's going to win.
I think so,
absolutely. Too. He's won all the big prizes. Bruce Dern would be like nice to see, and Bruce Dern was cool because he insisted on being in the Best Actor category because he said he think it would be bullshit to win Best Supporting Actor when it was the leading role.
Right.
You know, so that's pretty cool of him. Like today, I was watching. You know that guy from Rush, the guy whose face gets messed up. Like he got overlooked.
Jeffrey Rush.
The movie Rush.
Oh, okay.
The race car movie.
Got it. Yeah,
Daniel Bruhl, I guess his name is.
Yeah, Thor's brother.
Yeah. But that guy was great in that movie, and was a lot of talk like he got snubbed for supporting actor. Mm-hmm. But that movie's also it's about his character.
Right.
Like I finally saw it this morning, and I'm sitting there watching it, going, "This guy's in it a lot for Best Supporting Actor." Yeah. Like it's about his character. It's him, and it's a rivalry between two dudes. And there's long sections of the movie where you don't even see Hemsworth, and they're just fucking around with the other guy driving around the countryside. Yeah. Weird, but that guy's really good. That guy's a really good actor. Yeah, so that's but also supporting actor. I think Cooper kind of squeezed in there at the last minute, just off of American Hustle steam. I thought he was good in it. I liked how manic he was in some scenes, but I didn't think he was that great. Anyway, sorry.
So we're all going McConaughey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, directing.
Gravity.
Because we're in the middle of the McConaughey day.
Mm-hmm. It is the McConaughey day. David O. Russell, American Hustle. Alfonso Cuarón, Gravity. Alexander Payne, Nebraska. Steve McQueen, 12 Years a Slave, and Scorsese, Wolf. We're going to go Gravity, right?
Right. Yeah. 85% of the time, the award, whoever the DGA gives Best Director to wins the Academy Award. It's just as close a thing to a lock as you could hope for. Every once in a while.
Right.
And usually when it doesn't, it's like because it's a split thing where they give it to one movie director and another movie Best Picture. But so Cuarón won for Gravity for Directors Guild, so I think that's going to win. And then
the job of the director is so the director. I mean
He did it. He did everything, and he also co-wrote the screenplay.
How do you tell this story visually? That's pretty much.
And direct actors who were acting on green screens, like, you know what I mean?
It took forever to make. Everything he's made has been, if not beautiful to look at, also just brilliant movie making. Like the guy's incredible.
Yeah, he's great.
But this is where they'll give it to him for sure, and then for Best Picture, then they could flip it over to 12 Years a Slave, or this last minute excitement over American Hustle.
The thing too about Best Picture is it's really considered the producer's award. Like if you see like actor, writer, director, Best Picture is really to the producers. So you have to take that into consideration as what movie, how well was it produced. And when you look at a movie like 12 Years a Slave, just for Best Picture, and then you take into consideration how hard it must have been to make, I really think 12 Years a Slave is a lock. But
like when you apply that logic, why did The King's Speech win?
Oh, right.
That is one of those ones where it just kind of
boring historical nonsense.
Yeah, but it came together. It
was very well done. But give the actors awards, because it was mostly just acting in a room. It's mostly them.
The producers were taking credit for that. Like we took a movie that was just about the king, the king making a speech, and we made it compelling and amazing.
Okay, then why did Saving Private Ryan lose to Shakespeare in Love?
That one I'm still mad
We'll never get over it.
Yeah, that one years later, I'm still like, this is ridiculous.
Fucking Shakespeare in Love shot first.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What?
Hello? 12 Years a Slave, man, because this thing, to get it made, just the scope of the production.
To get to see Brad Pitt go up on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he'll be accepting that award, I bet. I'm still going Gravity.
What?
Really? Oh, doing a little upset. Okay.
Oh.
I don't think it's an upset because director and picture often match up, not as often as DGA winner automatically
I think
wins.
this is going to split. I think it's 12 Years a Slave.
I think this is because there are a lot of strong movies this year. I think this is where people have to split because Chiwetel's not going to win lead actor, and so you have to give 12 Years its due somewhere, and this is where they're going to have to do it. That's my picture. That's what I think.
Yeah, because he's not going to win Best Director.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. But if anyone wants to go rogue and vote along with me, I think Gravity is
You
just
wanna go Gravity,
Gravity's just a
Rises,
nice, safe choice. There's a lot of folks that can't really endure watching some people being beaten over and over again.
Right.
I mean, it's like Passion of the Christ or your typical action movie. It's a little intense for some taste.
No question.
It is.
We used to, we say that was a great movie that I never want to see again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, Gravity's just, to me, that's just going to be,
I want to see that again, like in IMAX. Like I saw it in 3D, but I'd like to see it in IMAX.
Oh yeah, on a giant.
Yeah.
It was on that new Chinese IMAX. It was there for a couple weeks, and I just didn't get around to going.
I know.
We're talking about 12 Years a Slave, right?
Yeah.
See it in 3D,
But
guys.
I thought 12 Years a Slave is a remarkable achievement. Really good movie, but I also felt like, strangely, that it could have been even better.
How so?
Just more like I just thought I think they let the viewer off the hook too often. Like there's too many scenes where they're just kind of sitting around talking and slavery isn't that bad. Which I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I mean, I've said this before on another podcast. I'm sure sometimes a slave is happy, like I got a cookie today or whatever. But, that movie lets you off the hook. Like I thought going in, I thought it was going to really be like they kidnap him and then this guy is fucked and it's just like, it's just going to be relentless, downer. And they, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm complimenting it by saying that it's not a relentless downer.
I don't even think it'd be completely watchable if it was literally brutality through the entire thing. You need those.
But I think maybe people just played that up too much to me or something.
Well, I think to me that's part of its strength is that it showed the sort of, you've heard this like, well, slave owners, a lot of them love their slaves. And it's like, do you hear that sentence? But it's like, and the slaves who, oh, I love my slave master because they've never known anything else. And I think to show the complexities of that, not to excuse it, or slavery wasn't that bad. I know it wasn't saying anything like that.
Like Sherlock wasn't the worst slave owner.
It was showing how that's how it just went down, is that a lot of white people went along with it and were like on the fence about it even. Right. but just sort of, like that one weird white woman on the one plantation that's like really mean to the slave one minute and then treating her respectfully another.
Right. Alfre Woodard's character of, she got some status now, and how she uses that the power play, the politics of that. Like, I think that, and again, to me, I liked those things because it showed the conflict in just about every single person out there. Not all of them. Like Fassbender clearly had no conflict at all. But like, everyone wasn't just as evil as he was. And everyone...
Right, he was evil in a crazy way.
Right. And some people were just like that sort of... that the immorality of being naive, of like, what? I didn't know that that this was awful. And you know what I mean? And I think showing all sides of that, to me, is why I think it should be Best Picture.
You see that a little bit in The Help, too. Like, you see the different types of racism, the casual racism, the vicious racism.
Right.
Like, oh, well, this is just the way it is. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I think 12 Years a Slave is great and Gravity is perfect. But that's, that's still... unfair comparison. It was a great year. It was a gregreat year. It's the first year in maybe forever that there's not a movie on the list that I disliked.
Like, how did that?
And my least favorite, strangely, of the Best Picture nominees is American Hustle.
Yeah. It's still a good movie.
Yeah, it's still not horrible.
Yeah, but it just cause it was too much of a that's why I think it might win for costumes or whatever, because it was too much of a wig and dress parade for my taste. Like, and not in a fun way. Like, I want it to be more like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Oh, right. Be even slicker. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he kind of split the difference between slick and trying to really kind of tell this ab scam type of story. And like you and I have discussed, like the guy constantly beating up Louis C.K. That's not happening in the
real world.
In the world.
Are you kidding me?
Ever.
Welcome to, you're arrested. The FBI, if you strike another FBI agent, pretty sure you're at least going to lose your job.
It's like that guy came from like management training school and is just running, the FBI now.
So you beat your boss with a phone and then you're just basically calling the principal's office and they're like, hey,
it's funny. He could have beat somebody with a phone in Place Beyond the Pines because he used what he knew about the other guy to be made the DA.
That's a good
but anyway, that movie, it is good. It is good, but there's a few movies that I'd slip into that ninth slot instead.
This new rule that it doesn't have to be 10 is a much better rule. Then you're not shoehorning in that
right. It just seems like it's always going to be 9 though, because it's nine for 3 years in a row.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Here's why the 10th movie should have been Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, or Short Term 12, or Spectacular Now, or there's a lot of very well done small movies. The small movies sort of got fucked this year. That's where 12 Years a Slave kind of eked in because it kind of qualifies as a small movie, but the themes are so big.
Right.
And Brad Pitt got involved.
Brad Pitt, big budget Brad Pitt.
But I mean...
And Blue Jasmine's a small movie, too.
Comparatively, for sure.
But I think, too, like Fruitvale Station had no big muscle involved in it.
No.
I think Philomena could have been made very cheaply, probably wasn't, but could have been made very cheaply and almost as effectively. But yeah, it was a great year for independent film and then a bad year for the Oscars in terms of recognizing that. Because the Independent Spirit Awards, hosted by our friend Patton Oswalt, and seen on IFC, are a lot of those things that we just mentioned got plenty of nominations and deservedly so.
Good. All right, well, guys, there's 24 categories. The three of us only split on 7 of them.
Ooh.
So there's 17.
So there's a leg up right there.
That we all agree on. So check that out.
And some for very arbitrary reasons, just like the Academy.
Because I think that they're all a bunch of liars if they're voting for best short documentary. They did not watch all of them.
And of course, guys, March 2nd we will be live tweeting the Oscars. So get on your Twitters.
And we're going to be doing an episode right after the Oscars as a wrap up too,
yes,
right?
Yes, we will do an Oscar wrap up.
Ooh, and post it like that night.
That night, yeah.
So people, at least on the West Coast, can hear it fairly early, and East Coasters are gonna have to tough it out, man.
Yeah, just stay up.
2 a.m. podcast.
Yeah.
Get some fucking Red Bull in that shit. All right, well, God, that's our show, man. I love doing.
We did it. That was really long too, though, right?
$1.23 and
counting.
Wow,
it went longer. Okay.
Yeah,
you guys have gotten a lot of fucking content this week, so enjoy it. Enjoy
Because it
it.
may end next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Might take next week off.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's our episode. Thank you, Douglas Benson. Duggity, diggity, bangity. What do you got going on? Where can people see you?
It's happening. You know how Jeff Garland's a pain in the ass. He won the most recent round of Tournament of Championships, but he's going to be hard to get to move on to the next round against Matt Myra and Jeopardy champion Ken Jennings. So to expedite that and make it happen, I'm just going to put Jeff on the tournament back burner and have another competition not this Thursday, but the following one, February 27th. 8 o'clock, Flappers in Burbank. I believe Graham Elwood will be there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, competing against two other people who have qualified for the tournament, and then the winner of that will move on to compete against the aforementioned Matt Myra and Ken Jennings. So that's going to be exciting out at Flappers in Burbank. It's always fun when we do shows out there.
That's a good club.
And then Helium in Portland is where I'll be taping my recording, my yearly 420 album. And I'm pretty sure, like all 7 albums before it, I'll be introduced by Graham Elwood.
Yes, you will.
Perfect.
Stoney McGee coming to the stage for number 7.
You'll have to come up with a new one for this one.
I always come up with a different one.
Yeah. And also, if you're in the Los Angeles area, it's Cinefamily on Oscar Sunday. If you're a member of Cinefamily, which is a great thing to become a member of and come see lots of cool things
It's a great theater to
for free. Sure. Super fun. We're doing an awards show interruption. I can't say what awards show, but it's on Sunday, March 2nd. And we're going to watch it and interrupt it.
Is that SP's?
And we're going to have a podcast of the Dining with Doug and Karen from the patio, and people are going to bring they have to bring dishes that are themed, that are based on one of the Best Picture nominees. So, yeah, there's some...
So 12 years of quiche?
I guess. Stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And we'll talk about them on the Dining with Doug and Karen podcast, and then we'll go in and watch the TV show and make fun of it, and
that'll be a blast.
and be really angry when if Lone Ranger wins an award.
Oh God.
Yes.
That's my plugs.
And your website?
Oh, let's not.
I'm sorry.
I'm tired of plugging things.
Did I cross the line?
DougLowesMovies.com.
All right, guys. I will be headlining the Improv in Hollywood, California, Saturday, March 22nd at 8 p.m. Come down and check that out. And, of course, Twitter at Graham Elwood. And all the GrahamElwood.com, and go to ComedyFilmmakers.com for all of that business. Like us on the iTunes and the Facebooks and all that.
And obviously, the most important thing now is the Kickstarter campaign. This is the last episode we'll be taping before the Kickstarter campaign ends. So please help us out. Fund this movie. It's going to be amazing.
Spread the word. Anybody you know. February 24th, 11 a.m. Pacific time. It ends.
So if 7 of you can do the $10,000 tier, that would be great.
It's done.
You can't spell fund without fun, guys. So...
Damn it.
So enjoy it. Enjoy giving them money.
All right. Anything else, Christopher?
That's it. That's the main things.
All right, guys. Enjoy this Oscar preview. Thank you once again to Douglas Benson. My name is Graham Elwood.
I'm Chris Mancini, and as always, remember...
Han shot first.